they've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out.
Touchdown, Saints! Michael Thomas, his second touchdown on the season.
And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Lutz good on the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
And the ball is knocked out, and this is picked up by the Saints. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Hey, I'm all about defense forcing plays and getting takeaways. But an interception and 2 fumbles in their last 3 offensive possessions.
Time to readjust.
Yeah, you can't just give all the credit to the defense on that.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick 6 really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
Joseph connects on the extra point.
And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
This taken in at the goal line. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
And just inside of a minute left, Charles. They got a pretty long field ahead of them. I'm curious to see how they play this, but you would think definitely enough time to at least try to get 3 out of this.
Yeah, you want to move with a nice sense of pace. You want to up the tempo a little bit, but you have to do it with some poise as well. You don't want to go so fast that you hurry yourself into mistakes. There's enough time to put points on the board if they do it right.
And even though they have the lead, you know that they would love to extend this lead before heading to the locker room. 2nd and 4.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Open man is Michael Thomas. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
Well, we can talk about it like it's just a basic route, but how about the timing on this one? Lined up on the right, runs a deep in route, and how about the throw? Right on the money. Bam! Puts it right in there and on his hands. Nice completion. Really good pickup.
There again is Thomas. They've gone to him a lot. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Saints will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Lutz with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Cousins. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. On 3rd down, Cousins. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Here's Hardy set to return. 39 yards on the punt. Give him just 1 yard on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this one is incomplete. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. Nwangu now from his end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. All in all, pretty manageable deficit, Charles, here as they start this 3rd quarter offensively when you consider the fact that in the first 2 quarters, they had 2 costly turnovers.
I think you laid it out there perfectly, partner. Very tough to hold a lead going into the break if you continue to hand it over on multiple drives.
Yeah, and obviously, Charles, it would be very tough to climb back into the game if those turnovers continue.
I would say borderline impossible. You keep turning it over, I don't know how you make up a deficit.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. To throw is Cousins. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. So they decline it as that will bring up fourth.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it fourth down.
That one sails out of bounds. A side judge will walk it off, and he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance, if they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing. It puts them in that position.
Jameis now on first down. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did. And they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
A running room for Kamara on first down as he takes us forward. It's a gain of 7 there on first down. 2nd and 3 coming up.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Kamara gets it again on 2nd down. And he is going to lose yardage here.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Third and short yardage, Winston. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to fourth. Here comes the Saints punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third.
A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. He'll look to throw. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Pete Werner. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turning over 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down.
A give to Kamara running right. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Play fake. Winston. On the move to his left. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he's able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls, or setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Now they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. They'll go draw here. Winston hands to Kamara.
Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That second down play nets a -4.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Throwing, Winston. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. First time they've looked his way in this game, he comes through picking up the first.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Winston. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And oh, he coughed it up. And the Vikings pick up the football.
Well, you had an offense working with a comfortable 2-score lead here in the 3rd quarter and certainly doesn't feel as comfortable now following the... And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the 3rd quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances, so they need to toughen up and keep them out of the end zone.
This is caught. Touchdown! 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston.
And the Saints will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd.
Lutz good on the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 in the first. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, Cousins. This one brought in by Jefferson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
And complete right side to Cook. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
On 3rd and 1, here's Cousins. Dalvin Cook now catches on back-to-back plays. He's got room at the 30. Touchdown, Vikings!
So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them at the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
I have 0 rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. So a nightmare start to the drive as they're already staring at 2nd and long. Working out of the gun, Winston. And that is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. The Saints on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 16 from the gun. Winston. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
And now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the 4th.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no, but the way the game's played now... You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
Cousins now on 2nd down. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there because, to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Give the sack to David Onyemata, the product of Nigeria by way of Canada. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins. That'll be caught. It's Rager. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 14. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, Cook. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Play action, Cousins. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
Another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you absolutely have to have them. They go over this all the time. Here's one of those situations.
Second and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. 2 yards the loss there. Now 3rd and 14. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter. Do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is fielded at the 27. 6-yard return after a punt of 48.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Cousins to throw.
Completes this to Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Cousins in step with Jefferson that time. First down, Vikings.
And time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Now Cousins.
Rager catches it left side.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Here's Cousins. This one caught. It's the tight end, Hawkinson.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Second and 10. Straight ahead, here's Huangu.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Tie game, and barring something incredible here, we're likely headed to overtime.
What I would do is either hand it off inside or more likely take a knee and let the clock run out, because if I'm back there trying to throw in a second.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. What a gigantic interception here in the first drive of overtime. And now, Charles, with where they're at on the field, I mean, they're already in field goal range to win this thing.
And the head coach is just talking to the special teams coordinator right now and saying, okay, where does he want the ball positioned? Because that's all you're going to do on offense. Move it to that spot. Make sure you take care of the football and probably third down, kick the field goal, and try and win this game.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to the ground. This time Cook.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple, down to the 15-yard line. And that carry probably not so much for yardage, just to get the spot that you want to kick the field goal.
And any yardage you gain there is really kind of gravy. And this just becomes what my old coach used to say. Get into position to be in position. And that's what they want, the right spot for their kicker to line up the field goal.
And he stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settle it. Because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys, poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. Up the middle, Nwangu. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Tension building. Here's Greg Joseph.
This to win it in overtime. And it's off the left upright. Oh, my goodness. Heartache. It's no good. And that will keep this a 3-point game.
That was an excellent